What's up, bros? Me, the professor. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna do the right thing here. Because this is a special episode. When it comes to mental health, there's one thing that many of you guys know is that, especially veterans, which is the majority of the guys that I talk to pretty much daily, is veterans. Okay. What's up to King Sigma? Good morning. I'm gonna wait up. I'm gonna wait up a little bit, let you guys file in so we can talk. Good, man. Everything's good here. Everything's good. Thank God for that. So we might have a guest here today. His name is Flashy from Flashy News. He and I are going to be talking about uh, mental health. Mental health from whatever perspective. This doesn't have to be about men and women because we know that probably affects a lot of men too. Definitely affected me, but I want to go back even further. We can go back to either our mother, our father, grandparents, family members that either have a history of mental illness or this is a strange topic, isn't it not? Because sitting here thinking about it, it's like, okay, first of all, this month is a strange month. It's not Veterans Mental Health Awareness Month, even though that should be a thing. It's well, let's talk about some basic statistics. Basically, come on, one out of 5 men. So we are at a suicide rate now of men deleting themselves at 5 to 1 women. So that means that for every woman that commits suicide, there are 5 men that do it. 5 to 1. Why is that? We don't have a real purpose in life these days. You don't have a real purpose to live. And if you do have a purpose, those things are being undermined by a political climate. It's telling you that being masculine and I mean, this is a Bible. This is like a Bible thing, isn't it, you guys? First Timothy about how man should be, how men should act. And it isn't just like go home and kick a dog upside down and manhandle your wife. That is not what I'm talking about. That's not masculinity. In fact, that's the opposite of masculinity. That's someone who doesn't have the ability to control their emotions. And since we're men and we're masculine, and most of us were raised by single mothers, the statistics are so friggin' high for depression or men that are depressed because they're not in their natural state. You know what I mean? What did Einstein say? If you compare a fish on its ability to climb a tree, that would be considered stupid. We would consider a fish stupid because of his inability to climb a tree. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with people that are looking at us like we're supposed to know better. We're supposed to not feel. We're supposed to not have these fucked up things that are affecting us. We're supposed to just man up and deal with it. But what happens when you got a system that tells us every day that we're ignorant, morons, stupid, like the TV says, that we abandon our kids, that we're deadbeats? And that is just a narrative that they literally repeat. They're on repeat. Even my own son, that was alienated from me for 22 years, actually said that his mother told him that I had paranoid schizophrenia. And I was like, wow, that is friggin' awesome. That's pretty deep. I mean, I didn't realize she was a medical doctor and was capable of diagnosing people. Is schizophrenia, paranoid schizophrenia, are you born with that, or is that like depression is more reactive than it is environmental. It's more environmental than it is genetic. What do you guys think? Is it more genetic than it is environmental? What do you guys think about that? Okay. One of the reasons why men's mental health is overlooked, because if we were strong men, we wouldn't be putting up with this shit. See, if we have a handful of really strong men, just a handful, there's only a small percentage of us that this doesn't affect. All right. And there's a lot of people that can be canceled as a result of speaking out against certain things. And there's a lot of men who do get canceled. And for that, they get depressed. They feel they've lost their purpose in life. So I'm going to go ahead and hand this right back to you guys and say connection with people is the purpose in life. We are all connected in every way. And behind us all is this mighty power of God. And I never believed in this God before until suddenly, oh, look at here. Who do we have here? Oh, Professor Williams. You're not supposed to believe in God because you're a scientist. Go ahead, Mr. Scientist. I'm the only scientist that doesn't take science or the community of scientists seriously, because they've all become cowards, almost every one of them. It's one thing to be in this environment where you're around weak guys all the time. It seems to me like every time I turn on Dana White, he's always mentioning that this generation of pussies is so weak that even if you train just a little bit and you have a little bit of cojones, you'll run right over them. And now that's the problem. You see that? You see what they did there? They made what we are too powerful to deal with, so they have to make it illegal. We are too powerful when we are in our right mind. Isn't that something? You ever been in your wrong mind where you've been shut down from all sides and you have nowhere to turn? No one is here to help us. And this is not about you, so you know. Guys, this is not about you. Not at all. You know, if you're listening to this right now, you and I both know that no one gives a flying F about men or men's health issues. How much you want to bet? I will be willing to bet my paycheck against your paycheck that if you were to ask this question, let's give a scenario in a fantasy world. We have the same doctor and we have two people. One of the patients is a woman. Oh my man, he broke my heart. He cheated on me. And then the doctor then prescribes a list of feminine things to do to recover as a woman. And then a man will come in and he will say the exact same story, word for word. And the solutions are different. And I know the solutions are different. Actually, the solutions are different because their solution, A, is to repeat the same tips that they gave patient A. When patient A is a woman and we don't respond the same as women when it comes to emotions. In fact, women recover easier from a breakup because of validation. That feels good. I got to tell you guys something. I got some messages, direct messages, and comments on some of my recent pictures and pictures of work I do. Okay, you guys know that I'm a firefighter and I'm retired now, so I have to stay busy. And firefighters that aren't busy usually drink and do dumb shit. So that's not my thing. I'd rather stay on point with the way I've been all these years. Since I've recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body that was caused either directly from war, family members, or bad relationships. And guys know the two things that affect them the most is money and relationships. So there's money, and everybody needs money to survive, food, shelter, clothing. And you and I could be okay with that. There's this feeling that some people get, especially if they grew up poor. I grew up poorer than shit, but not necessarily as dirt poor as the country I'm in. No way. Now, that feeling that you have, if you're not of the same status as the people, remember something. Like I said, we're all connected. Rich people that have a status, and then there's not rich people. Now, people have said that poor people are happier than rich people are actually wrong. I don't know who the fuck wrote that, but there is a big difference between having a status. Let's say, for example, I pull up in a Benz. I'm wearing a Brooks Brothers outfit. You know what I'm saying? I have a nice watch on. I smell good, white as could be. Now, let's say I'm a real estate agent. I'm the real estate agent in, let's say, Sunnydale, California. So, Sunnydale, California, real estate agent. I want to be one of those people, but pulls up to, let's say, $1 million house. Okay. Then the second real estate agent pulls up. Only difference is he doesn't have a Benz. Okay. He's got a Nissan. And it's about 10 years old. He got a 10-year-old Nissan, and he's pulling up. And when he gets out, he's not wearing a white polo shirt. He doesn't have a business card. The car that he's driving in is a 1987 Nissan Tesoro that's orange, and it looks like it's been painted with a brush. Who are you going to buy a house from? Who are you going to buy a house from? The person who has the white Mercedes. I'm going to put myself in that position, a white Mercedes, Brooks Brothers shirt, nice set of fucking slacks, makes my ass look tighter and my dick look bigger. Yeah, I'm going to fucking feel great. I pull out not just one, but two of my business cards, foil stamped, really excellent paper, looks like linen, etched, curved, die cut, rounded edges, can't be ripped in half, slightly larger than a regular business card. It's not meant to be put into a wallet or a Rolodex if those exist, because I'm special. Now, the person on the other side, now they internalize what they're seeing, and they're comparing their insides to another person's outsides. I do this all the time. I compare my carpentry skills to my other friend who does professional woodworking for flooring every single day. And I look at the two. Now, should I be insulted? Should I be insulted that his work is better than mine? I should be insulted because this is better than mine. It looks better. People don't criticize his stuff. They don't even say anything. They do say shit about mine. This is not square. You know, who drilled this? I'm not a carpenter, but I do my best. Now I'm going to take it personally. I'm going to take it personally, the criticism I'm going to get. Now imagine this, you are a man. And the whole world, you're being compared to the entire world. The men that women find valuable have resources. So if they have resources, that means that to them, their value is higher. This can make the average man rather upset. Okay, because you're comparing me, the mediocre carpenter, to my boy XL Pros, by the way, that makes wood flooring. He doesn't just do wood flooring, design it out, cut it, put all the pieces of wood, and how he attaches them to the floor flawlessly. So you can see I'm going to feel a bit inferior in this hypothetical situation because Excel Pros is better than me because he put the time in to learn that skill. Now, if I had been gone to trade school and said, hey, you know what, I want to be a carpenter because I would certainly really love to get involved with carpentry. Then there's a level playing field. That is the same as a guy who has no money, suddenly either getting a job or hitting the lottery or something like that, that puts his status at the same level of status that he is comparing his insides to another man's outsides. So you see what I'm saying? I compare my insides to your outsides, and the result is distorted. I feel depressed. I feel anxiety. I feel shame because what is going on here? I don't know what that means. Anyway, okay, guys. So here we are in the month of mental health. Women and men have very big differences in terms of what makes them happy and what sustains them. Men could give a fuck about happiness. They want contentment. Contentment encompasses a whole lot more. When you are content financially, physically, and spiritually, you wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror, and you go, wow, I look better than I did yesterday. And if you're one of the people that obsessively checks your bank statement, not because you might be anticipating a deposit, but you're anticipating a withdrawal, and you want to make sure that you didn't fuck up yesterday, and you might be overdrawn. That would be bad. So, as you can see, the obsessed mind with status, possessions, money, when that leaves you void because society has told you you are of no value because you do not produce these three things. And odd thing is only 1 or 10%. 1 to 10% of the population can fulfill those standards that we're referring to. I had somebody that came from the States meet me in a very, by the way, I have a small ranch over in Puebla. And two guys from the States, both Mexican, they just met me. They're like, hey, man, what's going on, man? They speaking to me in English. Good to see you, blah, blah, blah. Where do you live? And I told him, I said, yeah, I got a ranch out here. He's like, really? Why aren't you driving? Like, what are you talking about? I just came down here on the microbus. I don't even know where I am. I'm in the woods. They didn't know what kind of car I drove. So they automatically assume, they're like, oh, this is one of these brokey bitches. So he's like, yeah, I got a car. I'll give you a ride up there if you want. I'm like, sure. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to take the bus. It takes me right to my front door, or I could ride with you and I could show you my place. How about that? So the guy pulls up in a C250 or C200. And if you guys don't know about Mercedes-Benz, a C200 is a pretty decent car. In Germany, we would probably give it to our high school daughters. That would be something that we would give to a girl. You see, over here in North America, they look at a Mercedes, they see the brand, and they add value to that brand visually. They see it as a status symbol, which it is. And these two young guys, they didn't realize it, is they're judging me based on, they're comparing their outsides to my outsides. Okay. I'm just wearing this. I got a ball cap on, wearing jeans. Fancy shoes, no, because I live in the woods. I wear boots, combat boots. Think I was even wearing like my firefighter shirt from whatever station. And like, oh man. So they give me a ride up there. They're like, oh, why aren't you driving? I said, well, you know, my car's in Mexico City. It's in the bodega. It's in a warehouse because I don't need to drive. If I'm going to come out here to the woods, which by the way is flooded, it's got mud, they don't realize that I drive a 550 Mercedes. that is twice the size of their little 200. And the engine is a monster engine, V8, 6.0 liter or something like there's 5.5, 6.5. I don't know. It's not important to me. He is comparing his Mercedes, which is his 200 C200, which we refer to as the high school girls Mercedes. We're comparing his Mercedes in real life to what I presently have, which was a bus ride up to the woods. So you could see what's going on here, you guys. And it's worse in the States. You see, people in Mexico don't care if you don't have a car. People in Mexico don't care if you ride a fucking bike. Who rides bikes in the States? Who are the people that ride bikes in the United States? Who are we talking about? We're talking about people with DUIs or children that are like 6. Those are the people who ride bikes. Now in Europe, everybody rides bikes, especially in Holland. We ride bikes. It's normal. It's part of the thing. Now, what this guy's done with his little C200, I'm judging him, by the way. Okay. I'm judging him, judging me. I'm confident in myself to know that not only is my car better than his, it's not plastic, it's completely leather. It's upgraded, it's got a supercharger in it, goes, 250 kilometers an hour. It's pretty damn fast, like shoof, and it's fast. So he's comparing his possession to the assumption of my outsides, which is a 10 peso ride on a bus. So I'm comparing my outsides. Now my mental state is okay because I fucking know better. I know my Mercedes is better than his. I know it's faster than his. I know it's newer than his because I rode in his car and it's a C200. He's judging me based on the fact that I am dressed like this, which, by the way, when I go out to the woods, this is how I dress. If you guys see me in public, I wear Brooks Brothers. I wear white polo shirts. Not real hard to figure that out. So when I compare my outsides to that man's outsides, I am now confident because I know that there is no level playing field here. Okay, is a McDonald's T-ball team playing against a professional baseball team with all-star pitchers. So why should I be ashamed of myself? Am I ashamed of myself because I'm not driving? Now, the only people that give a flying fuck about money is Americans. You come talking like that over in Eastern Europe, you're going to be embarrassed. Like in Europe, like in Asia, they say the people that freak out or lose emotional control, they don't hang out with those people. They don't hang out with those people because if you lack emotional control, people don't take you seriously. So this is my call to action for you guys, is that you're going to compare your outsides to another man's outsides, while simultaneously this man may be depressed. You know what I mean? We're always compensating, right? We're always compensating because we feel that our physical whatever, it cannot be compared to somebody who is in the pro levels. Now, the sad part is that modern women today would rather us be that 1% man. You know what I'm saying? These superhero guys that are over 6 foot, got a big ass stick and a 6-pack, and make 100,000 a year. That's the mentality of these two guys. By the way, we're Mexican guys that have been Americanized in the United States. They came back to this Puebla. They're going to visit their aunt. They meet me. They're like, wow, a millionaire living in a shack out in the middle of the woods. I never said I was a millionaire. I never told them anything about me. I told them I'm a firefighter. People don't know what firefighters make. Yeah, I'm a veteran. Yeah. Okay, warfighter, big deal. When they compared themselves, so this is what they're doing. This is what they're doing. They're going to try and make themselves feel better. When I said, well, I appreciate the ride. He's like, yeah, man. Okay, well, listen, I have a car too. So it's got to go back to Mexico and get it. They're like, I was like, yeah, I have a Mercedes too. And he's like, you have a Mercedes? Yeah, right. You see what I'm saying? And it's okay because I didn't have to tell them anything. In fact, I could have pulled up on them, went back to Mexico, came back, pulled right up in front of their aunt's fucking store with the Mercedes, and they would have been like, and then they want to be friends. See, that's the thing. They didn't take you seriously until they thought you had something. And this here lies the problem. Right here on What's Up, Ask Professor. All right, so I got lines out there standing by for all of you guys who want to join. I'm going to jump into the StreamYard thing right here and invite the guests, because we did have I'm going to put the link in this description in YouTube. So if you guys don't mind, you're going to hop on over to YouTube. Hop on over to YouTube and put the link in the chat. I'm going to pin it this time. Hold on a second there. I'm gonna keep talking because I know you guys can hear me. So anyway, you guys got to jump over to Professor Mex, and we're in the live right now. So I'm gonna pause it because I don't want to echo. And here we go. Right there, StreamYard. Up. It's in there. All right, guys. That's that. Okay. So you can see the situation, and I'm going to go into this deeper, but that is just one example where the mentality of consumerism that has been bred into us, materialism, which we were taught by our parents to value what is expensive to what appears to be hard to, because you know what, it's kind of funny. People do respect you if you look like you work out. Okay. People go out of their way to get close to you when you look a certain way. When you move a certain way and act a certain way, people want to be around you. And a matter of fact, when you got money to a level of satisfaction that you don't have to work anymore, you never have to really worry about money ever again. My hat's off to you guys. I'm not one of them dudes. But if I live my life in such a way that money is no longer the focus in life, and when I don't have said money, it is not a burden to me. The same goes for if you got no girlfriend. All right. If you just broke up with, let's say, Shakira, okay, or whatever, a young version of Shakira, not the old ass bitch version. So you got a 22-year-old Shakira, and she cheats on you, it breaks your heart. And then let's say years go by, you work on yourself, because now you gotta understand, some young guys don't have any value at all. Their value is in their physical looks, because women are not hooking up with them for their brains. Women are not hooking up for them because of their cars and their possessions, because they don't have anything. This cycle repeats itself until a man has a purpose in life and says, you know what, if I don't go to work, this girl that I adore so much is going to starve. And if she feels like she could do better than some jerk off with a blue check to his name, hey, what you doing? That's all it takes. There ain't nobody in my DMs with blue checks with, you know what I mean, hitting me up saying, let's fly to Los Angeles or Paris. No, on the contrary, I got to pay for those trips myself. So as you can see, there's a great divide between the ones that that delete themselves 5 times with that of women. That makes sense? Why? You and I get broke, who's there to help us? If you and I were to lose everything today, car breaks down, you get fired from your job, you got to talk to the landlord because your rent's due, and you don't have 2 pesos to rub together. Who's coming to help you? Nobody. If you're a woman and you don't have 2 pesos to rub together, a man will pull over on the side of the road and you're selling mangoes in the street, a man will change your life for the better. You'll suddenly feel validated because of your beauty. That'll work for a while. It does. It is a flawless formula, and God made us that way because He made women attractive so that we could copulate with them and reproduce. That's why this whole thing is so messed up, because now we're being told, don't be masculine, don't be a threat. It's being threatening. I love it, but because of my size, maybe my eye color, it's threatening to another man. I never said once I didn't like somebody, but yet that person who is depressed decides they want to chop their junk off because they don't feel like they are a man. That's got to be depressing. In fact, I don't see anything positive coming out of that at all. The fucking first day I look down, I don't see my dick. That's because I got a big old fat stomach. I stop eating. I go to the damn gym. How many of you guys have heard this as of recently? I think it was a study out of New Zealand. It said that's working out is like some ridiculously higher rate of antidepressant effect with no pills. You start working out, you start fucking looking better, you start feeling better, people start taking you seriously. That's why I always tell motherfuckers, it's like, don't dress like shit. In fact, do the opposite. Go a little bit overboard. And I know some of you guys are pimps. Why can't you dress like a pimp used to dress? Pimps used to be the shit. Okay. So now my call to action is to all men. Start dressing like pimps. I mean it, hat and all. Wear your fucking clothes. You know what I mean? Get some of them goldfish fucking platform shoes. Dress like a pimp and have a pimp cane. But you got to have that pimp hand. You see, if you don't have a pimp hand, how the fuck are you going to be a pimp? Because over the sound of it, most men are simps. 80% or so men are simps. They're weak, mindless, and only care about money because money is connected to what? The status that we've been trained to believe is what would make us happy. Happiness does not come from money. And I said this on one of my very first live streams I ever did. You cannot replace. It's just not. It's not possible. Money is nothing. Money just gives you flexibility to go, to move around. It doesn't make you happier. A jet ski might make you happier temporarily. I know electric bicycles make me feel great. I said find it impossible to not be happy riding an electric bicycle at breakneck speeds. There's nothing that makes me temporarily happier than riding an electric bicycle without a care in the damn world. Just hitting on it like a motorcycle. You know what I'm saying? Just getting after, going down a hill, going, 47 miles an hour on 10-inch wheels. That makes me better. That makes me happier. But the deviance behind the problem of men's health is that we have been trained to believe and emphasize that possessions and money are the one things that make us happy, when we know for a fact that when those things are gone, now we are sad. So it's nothing more than a fleeting dopamine feeling, really. So if you get presents on Christmas Day, let's say this, I go back in time, back in the 70s, 80s, ripping apart, Millennium Falcon. Wow, I got the Millennium Falcon. I'm ripping it apart. My presents. I'm so excited. I can't even sleep at night because tomorrow we're going to get presents. We somehow have learned that our parents lied to us about Santa Claus. Our parents lied to us about Santa Claus because if we knew what Santa Claus really was, we wouldn't be excited now, would we? We would just be getting presents from our parents that are wrapped up in colorful paper. So the anticipation creates that anxiety. Now, when we get those things, when we got that new telephone, playing with it, playing around on it, you got it in your hand, it's yours. You're going to go to school the next day, go, hey guys, look at that. I got a new cell phone. And I'm so happy. But like any toys wear off. That fun from toys is fleeting, which means that damn thing that I put so much emphasis into thinking and I was going to be happy when I finally had this thing, it wasn't true. Did you know that somebody years back did something that messed up my banking really bad? And for a guy that today would say that I don't care about money, it's not important to me, I don't live for money. But brother, when I didn't have it, I was panicking. The difference is this has happened to me more than once. In fact, if you're stationed overseas and you've lost your American ATM card and you've had to wait 2 weeks for a replacement, then you understand what I'm talking about. That could be kind of a burden to other people, which can cause a depression. But if you're confident in yourself, knowing that one day your new ATM card is going to come in the mail and you got more money than motherfucking God in that bitch. You know what I mean? You got 10 digits in that motherfucker. You're not going to be worrying about people judging you for not having money. That's why I say, saints of God, if you are a son of the Most High and you have access to all the cows on 1,000 hills, why art thou depressed? If you have the resources, I'm not talking fantasy, sky daddy shit. God gives us everything that we fucking need in the world. And we might go without for a while. He still gives it to us one form or another. Humans are wired differently. Humans are actually wired to suffer a bit. Humans are wired to feel danger, anxiety, and that fear. And so I went for 3 months with no money. Now, mind you, I'm living overseas, so I don't need that much money to live off of. Now, during that time, I'm sitting there going, man, I got 3 months to survive with no income, nothing. Do you guys know that 3 months turned into 3 years? During those 3 months, I was without fear of eating. I was without fear of paying for my house or my car or gas or anything that I needed. Because everything I needed, because my mental state is that even though I don't have that stuff right now, it's okay because it's going to come back to me. Meanwhile, because of my status amongst my wealthier friends, I have not had the need for a place to live, a car to drive, food to eat. Every day, food was made in their house. And they said, at 4 o'clock, we eat dinner every day. I want you to come and eat dinner with us every day. And then, hey, hopefully your card gets here sooner. They didn't say you got to pay me back. That's an American trait. They didn't say, well, you got to do me a favor too. That's another American trait. Those are things that you and I were trained as children to believe. You and I were trained as children to believe that we are not the same as our counterparts. And therefore, status means that one of our friends is going to become the manager in the store that we work. And we're going to make potentially less money. And that means that person is better than us. That person's not better than us. It just means they're more qualified to be in the position they are. I'll give you back to the example. I would not be a good fit for XL Pros to call me up one day. And he's like, hey, Professor, you know what? I seen your carpenter work. I want you on my team. No way. He would pick the most talented woodworker in his state. This makes no sense, right? Well, that's how we compare ourselves to these people. We compare ourselves to people that are better than us at a discipline that they practice every day. You go to the gym right now. You and I go to the gym right now. I'm 200 pounds. I'm 6 foot. You and I get under the same bench and put the same amount of weight up. I got to help you. Does that make you less of a man? Fuck no. As a matter of fact, that makes you more of a potential man, because now that you see that I can easily lift 315 pounds, there's 3 plates on both sides for reps of 10 to 12. My boy over here, he's having to unrack 2 plates every time he goes up. And don't get me wrong, he looks good. He's younger than me. I mean, he probably gets way more attention in the gym because he wears string top shirts and I wear heavy, baggy bullshit like this. Because I don't give a fuck. I don't want people staring at me. On the other hand, a young man does, because they're on that random seeking validation all the time. Because if you don't have money and all you do is focus on fucking money, then when your money is taken away or the dollar collapses and you have nothing to fall fucking back on, then you're going to suddenly realize that I should have been focusing on connections to other people, because that's the purpose in life, in order to keep my depressed ass from being more depressed. Because if your focus is on money and the dollar collapses, chances of you being one of those 5 people that deletes themselves. So there's really no damn excuse for this. We have been programmed to believe that money and power is equal to success. That seems to be the going trend. Now, if, like I said, I compare my insides to your outsides, and you have what I don't have, I could never have, that is going to have an impact on me if my social appearance to myself is low. So if my status is only based on money, that's it. People don't respect you because you have money. They have a fear for you because you have money, because with money wields men carrying swords. Okay. There are people that can easily replace what is stolen from them, and you can't. So as you can see, status, money might equal power, but it does not equal happiness. Happiness is fleeting. Happiness is nothing compared to contentment. As a matter of fact, the only real way to get content is to be content with yourself first. And that would be by mimicking what we have talked about before. And that is to use something or someone to base your faults from. You could see, I could look at myself because I have introspect, and I could say, at one time, I was a horrible fucking liar. Yes, sir. I could admit it. I could tell you all this stupid shit, that unbelievable shit that I pushed the envelope just to get people to like me. You know that? Just to get people to like me, because I was skinnier. I'm from a poor country. I don't have nice clothes. I don't even own a pair of shoes. Okay. But when you're 10 years old and you've only worn boots made of sheepskin your entire life, and the kids at school look at your boots and they go, oh, you're one of those people. That can be very easily. You see, that's the mentality of Americanism, because in Eastern Europe, you get around other Eastern Europeans that are wearing the same boots, you don't feel down about yourself. And then when you go over into the world of social bullshit that says, if you don't have money, people don't like you. I agree with that. If you don't dress well, people are not going to like you. If you don't have nice teeth and you have bad breath, people are not going to like you. If you're not well put together, as far as your clothes go, your shoes aren't shined, you don't look like you have a purpose in life, you're just a bum laying around, they won't like you. And they will have an opinion about you. An opinion might be far-fetched. Look at me. I moved here to a town that's poor. Okay. And my neighbors are poor. And my neighbors don't know anything about me, but when I first got here, you better believe they judged the living shit out of me. They looked at my car. They looked at me. They looked at the house I moved into. They were like, oh, good. Another foreigner, another rich asshole foreigner. Because that's what people are trained to believe, that if you're rich, you're an asshole. And here, especially, where the envy is so real because they want to be just like us. They do. They worship the idea of the dollar. They only think about money. They only talk about money. It's literally like they've been Americanized to believe in this dream bullshit. They're going to go to the United States and make, $20 an hour and everything's going to be great because they could send that money back to wherever country they came from and they'll suddenly be happy. Only to find when they go to those countries as a foreigner, they're going to be paid not $20 an hour, but you're going to probably get paid $5 an hour. $5 is lower than minimum wage. They're paying you for labor work. That could be kind of depressing, especially if you come from your country and you're in charge of 30-guy teams and shit, and you're at the top of your game. They don't realize that when they pass the border and go over to other places like, let's say Finland, for example. Finland used to be the poor country, and Sweden was the rich country. Then suddenly Finland finds oil and now has the GDP double or triple that of Sweden because Sweden is not as powerful as Finland. Isn't that something, you guys? So now the Finnish people who used to cross the border into Sweden to go work as housekeepers and mechanics and all these low-paying middle-class jobs for the wealthier, now the tables have turned. And now the average person in Finland has 200,000 euros in the bank that makes interest. So as you can see, they might feel different about themselves at some point and say, you know what? Those assholes treated us just like like we were their servants, their slaves, or everything else. And that depresses me. And then they discover oil and makes everybody in their country rich. You see, Finland was in a position at one point to ask Sweden, hey, would you do us a favor? Would you allow us to invest into Volvo so at least we could get a percentage of those sweet Volvo, that money coming from Volvo? And they said no. They made another offer and said, look, we will attach our national debt in order to help our country and your country work together as a team to sell Volvos. That didn't work. So when Finland finally broke through and got more oil and became an oil production country, now they are the rich country. Now the people from Sweden, whose economy has done shit, is now coming into Finland to come and work for the same people that they used to work for as servantry. I'd say that's a pretty good a bit of vengeance. All that time those people were being treated like dog shit, and they say, we're not doing too good as a country. We sure would like to get some of that Sweden money. And Sweden's like, oh no, you guys, and stick their nose up in the air and says, the hell with you, Finnish motherfuckers. But then Finland turned the thing around, and they discovered oil, and then they become one of the richest nations in Europe overnight. That can make you feel temporarily better about yourself. Now, wouldn't it? If I was to say, all right, King Sigma's in the house. What's up, bro? If I was to say, I'm going to go ahead, I got this fund of 200 billion euros. And so every week or two, I'm going to break you off something because you had faith in me. And for those who didn't believe in me, I'm going to give you anything. How's that grab you? So you can see there's a lot of things that are environmental, and there are many things that are chemical when it comes to emotions and mental health. The chemical ones would be like bipolar disorder, which has to be treated with medicines in order to keep that people off the damn ledge. Then there's environmental, which is why I believe it affects more men than it does women, because now here we are in a digital world where the women have access to all men with blue checks next to their name, who can be easily get flowed out like that. just like that. See that? Hey, girl, what's up? Literally within 30 seconds, I got to book a flight for this girl because she's down like that. Now, what has happened is that the entire month, she hasn't been working on her fitness. She's been working on her filters. So if you're working on your filters and not on your fitness, and then when you go to show up, when you pull up, when you come through, you're gonna look like Shrek, and motherfuckers gonna be like, "Whoa, get out of here!" You see, that's how we gotta anticipate all women treating us. Okay, like that. And we go back to XL Pros. You hear what I'm saying, man? If XL Pros does a job and he came and did my wood floors in my house, he knows that he did a good job because he knows that every nail, every plank of wood, every detail, every clear coat that goes on is done with top quality because he's the best of the best, which means that I have nothing to say. I don't have anything to say about his work because it is beyond reproach. It is so damn good that I cannot compare my work that you have clearly seen to his. He has better tools. He has better access to wood. He has better varnishes than I do. He has better paint guns than I do. He has better soldering equipment. He has better welding equipment. He's got a better saw. He has better files to even sharpen his blades. He has, by the way, blades, stacks and boxes of replacement blades all day long. Me, I don't have much. I don't even have a skill saw. I don't have a sawzall. I got a steel wheel grinder that I can change the blades on, which is fine. Hang on a second, my man. Let me get my glass on. I can't read. I can't read the comments. It's too bright in here for me to see. I got to wear these glasses. Okay, so let's say guy back in here. At work, hi. I'm at work hiding. I had to use the men's room. Okay. Figured to stop by. Yeah, man. Appreciate that. Real quick though, I see you like Mossy Oak too. I want to tell you about Mossy Oak. I found it by accident. And here in Mexico, by the way, a lot of stuff from the United States ends up down here and basically all of the stores, not the new stores, but the secondhand stores. Now, if you guys got Goodwill or some kind of store like that in the United States where you can go there and buy like shirts off the rack for like $1 or $1 or whatever, here are the same, except the only difference is the clothes could be brand new with tags on them from like Ross or somewhere. Okay. So there's economy down here that you guys don't know about. It's the clothing economy, clothing from the United States. Sometimes that's Ralph Lauren. Sometimes that's old school stuff that's brand new, that's clothes. And what do you know? You come through and you can walk out of a store and for under $50 have a wardrobe of new clothes. That's where the Mossy Oak came from, in case you were wondering. So I do have Woodlands. I have Digital. I have Desert. I have ACU. I have all the old stuff from my era of the military. Obviously, I got original Woodland Gore-Tex jackets. If you guys are 90s eras, you guys remember the Gore-Tex jackets from the 90s? That was my deal. Okay. So the only question up to you guys is, what are you going to do for yourself? What are you going to do for yourself so you don't suffer unnecessarily? Because this is an entire month of men's health, and every single man that I know has got some mental shit going on because of state of affairs of love at the moment, the state of affairs of relationships at the moment, and the state of affairs of the dollar at the moment. So if you've got anything that you'd like to interject, I need you to write that in the comments right now because we're almost at 1 hour. And I'm the professor. I just want to thank you guys for stopping in, checking in on me, because I got to do some things today that are going to help me improve mentally. But I want to encourage you tomorrow, actually today, take the rest of your day and compare your outsides to another man's outsides. But look at yourself on the inside and compare your insides to your own outsides. Do they match up? Are they congruent with making yourself a solid man that people can look up to? That a man can follow behind and say, yo, that's a dude. That's a real dude. I like this dude. I'm going with him. Or are you a sucker? Are you a simp? Are you a simp enforcer? Because if you fall into any of those other things other than the word no, then you're going to have to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I might go the fuck off at this point. Okay. We only have 30 days to celebrate mental health for men. Guess what? We can go all out on this thing. And like I said, if you want, we could have the live stream. We could do one-on-one. Either way, I want to help you out. Hit me up on the DMs. I'm the professor, and I'm out.